What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Ladsfootyshow. I'm your host, Keeks. Today here with my co-host.
It's your boy, yeah.
And Liguilla football is finally back, baby. The favorite time of the year for all our Mexican fans.
Yeah, it's been a minute since we actually covered this. I mean, we really didn't cover this season at all.
But as a whole, I think the Champions League was kind of just going too crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty much. So if you guys really know us for our Liga MX content, we're bringing it back just for you guys and at the perfect timing. But before we get into that, lads, we're almost at 6K subs. So if you're watching this and you're not subbed, make sure you go down and sub. Join our Discord. Follow us on all of our socials. And like, comment, and sub, boys. Come on.
Getting back into it. Finally down to our final teams.
Yeah.
And it's all knockout from here.
2 legs the whole way, and then the final, you know. We're going to recap the season so far. Just a little quick recap on it. Toluca finishing first place with 42 goals. Goals galore for them. I mean, they're chance-creating machines, so props and shout-outs to them. Santos finishing back-to-back in last place.
Somehow getting a worse result than last season.
Yeah,
by 3 points.
Chivas not making it to a play-in. We'll get into that as well. That's why I'm not wearing no damn Chivas jersey today. But yes, boy, it's been a minute. It's that time of the year. So real quick, I want to talk about the play-in format. And I don't know if you guys all agree with me, but for 3 seasons in a row, it's been the top 8 that qualify even after 2-week break of the play-ins. It's been 20, 21, 22 days since the league actually ended. And now we're back to this, and it's still the same thing. So it's like a waste. I don't know. What are your thoughts on it?
It's a giant pause, like, on the momentum and stuff like that. Like, the week off that you take, like, before Liguilla starts, like the preparation for that is more than enough time because you're still match fit. You're still keeping up your momentum. Like everyone's fitness is still like at tip top shape, you know, when these top teams that don't have anything to play for the rest of the month, you know, like just chilling, doing whatever. Obviously they're still training and stuff, but the match fitness definitely drops. And I think the level of intensity, the desire to want to continue playing games, you know, you drop a bit of consistency.
I feel like that affects the season throughout the whole 17 games because now teams are coming to be like more chill about qualifying in the top 10 to 7 spots instead of, you know, actually trying to finish in the top 6 or 7.
There's like such much less of a desire to finish in the top half of the league.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sad because, like, I don't know, I just don't really see these teams playing as, I guess, desperate.
Yeah, and that's why I have a take where I said, like, the Liga MX has been a little bit more of, like, the, you know, I haven't really felt the same towards the Liga MX over the course of the years, like how I did before. And some might say, it's because you're Chivas and you guys are ass. Yeah, sure. I'll agree to that.
It's like 40%.
But it's, yeah. Real quick, we're going to cover the top 8 teams. Toluca, obviously, who we just mentioned, first place with all the amount of goals that they scored. América quedó in second place. Keeks, your team. You know, beautiful. Actually, very good defensive record. I just found out that they played, obviously, 17 games, but they only conceded 10 goals.
It seemed like the goals weren't coming in, like, in or out of the game. Right. At some point, like, throughout I'd say, like, the middle of the season, we couldn't really find the back of the net, but same thing was said for our opponents. Our defense has always kept it tight. I have more than enough faith in our defensive depth, apart from fucking Néstor Araujo for multiple reasons.
But also América played with the 5-back the majority of the season.
Yeah, right? Arena kind of adapted to the Anselmi ball.
3rd place, Cruz Azul. 4th place, Tigres, who I'm actually surprised they're up this high. 5th place right behind them, Necaxa. León, 6th place. Monterrey, 7th. And then Pachuca, 8th. Let's get into, obviously, then there was Juárez, Pumas, and Chivas, who finished in 11th. But
if Carrasquilla didn't get injured, do you think if Pumas somehow won that tie, you think they would have made a difference?
No, I don't think so. Pumas are pretty ass. And the Pumas Shag will forever be a thing part of this channel. So, yeah. Okay, let's see. Where do we go from here?
Let's talk about who didn't make the Liguilla.
Let's talk about who didn't make the Liguilla then. All right. Let's talk to my...
Let's break it down.
Let's break it down with Chivas.
More for your sake.
Yeah, Chivas as a whole this season were dreadful. I mean, Chivas won 5 games and they lost 6 and they tied 6, so we couldn't even get more wins throughout all of our games. I think the season Chivas were a mess. We tried it with the Spanish manager after trying it with the previously Spanish manager. That actually did a good thing for us. We got us to a final. It was a complete mess with who we start, Oscar Garcia, and then we go and get an unexperienced manager, Gerardo Espinosa, that didn't do anything. He had no idea of football. I knew it was going to happen. That's why my expectations for him were low. And damn, did he actually meet my expectations? Because they were low, and he back to back, you lose to Atlas in 2 tournaments in a row. In a play-in.
They did the double on you guys twice, way?
They did double on us twice in the same position. In the same position.
Eso seemed, I didn't know you guys played the same position like in the last game of the season
Mm-hmm.
for a title, for a playoff spot, but I didn't know they did the double on you guys twice, bro.
Twice.
Oh my God.
Twice.
That's like,
I could go on about a whole hour ranting about Chivas and when needs to change, but the thing is that will things change? I am not sure.
what's like on the top of that list then? What do you think what do you think is possible to change
I think
now?
the best possible case to occur is that we bring in an Almada or Matias Almeida and we clear out all the deadwood that we have and we just go from the bottom.
You really think Almeida though would come back and survive?
After the Club World Cup, Almeida, I think, regardless of what the outcome is, I think he will be open to it. He'll get paid. That's 1. He'll be in a better city. That's 2. He was always like the young talents at Pachuca. I mean, Chivas has a bunch of young talent. The thing is that there's really no one to move them and play them and have them play well. So I think Almada would be really good for Chivas. But it starts there. I think the squad wipe, new manager, new ideas, and it starts with the manager. I think that's always been the case. Always been the case. Having a system, an idea of play, that's been my main.
Do you have anyone in mind other than Almada?
No. Almeida or Almada?
One of the two.
That's
I don't think Almeida would ever make his return. I just seem like that saga goes on like every offseason. Yeah. Every single fucking offseason, it seems like Almeida is linked to return back to Chivas. I think that's just a fairy tale. I don't think that's ever going to happen. It's like, just Chivas fans trying to cope with how terrible their season has been and how consistently bad Chivas continue to play. But Almada's a decent shout. It really depends. I think it all goes into play of how they do against America, more than likely. Mm-hmm. Whether he chooses to, take the route and have a new experience with a new project, or just continue using these younger players that he loves to do with Pachuca. It obviously works. They make Liguilla once again.
And actually, last time Chivas had it with Atlas already in the Liguilla, so they limited us in the Liguilla, and then this time was a play-in.
Oh man, I've watched about 3 games this season, like 3 full 90 minutes of Chivas, and luckily that Atlas one was when I caught on. Wait, you guys are dead.
Yeah. So
dead football.
The past Liguilla was Pumas in there, Cholos is in there, Atlas was in there, and Chivas was in there. So those are the 4 teams that were and San Luis. So since we're talking about disappointing teams already, let's already speak about what San Luis did this season compared to the previous years. They were dreadful. I thought they finished 6th or 4th last season, and now they finished 15th. Atlas as well. Cholos was the one that was my biggest disappointment because I thought they were going to cook and elevate their game after that season they had with Osorio, but that didn't go to plan.
Where did Osorio even go?
I have no idea.
Him?
They just banned him. They gave him the boot.
I thought it was like a mutual agreement or something. Que nomás quiso, ya no quiso. Because there's no way they would have fired him like willingly. He was doing nothing wrong. There was no wrong in what he was doing for Cholos.
Yeah, and then Pumas getting left out as well. I don't know. The Cholos. I thought it was going to be a longer project for Osorio, but it didn't.
It seemed like it was, but I mean, he had other plans, I guess, or I guess the faculty did.
Yeah. So now that we covered some disappointing teams and why they didn't make it, let's go over who are your players of the tournaments? Right, like the players that really made a name for themselves this season. I can give you one right away, Alexis Vega, and I think he will be the MVP of this season.
I was about to say he was my number 1.
Yes, 100%.
Alexis Vega was my player this season.
100%. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he had almost 20 GAs. Let's see, 17 goals and assists as a non-striker.
Wow.
As a non-striker, and then his partner in crime, Paulinho, with 12 goals. I always said this when Paulinho came to the league. I said this guy's gonna be a fucking top goal scorer. And he has been.
Playoff fraud, though.
Playoff fraud. I mean, they had... Who was it that America, right? Yeah, it was America. I was very disappointed in
goals in 180 minutes of football.
Yeah, I was disappointed in that match. I remember. So, Alexis Vega for me, and Necaxa's Paradela. Baller.
26 years old, he's pretty much hitting his prime at this point. And at this point, you really look at him every time you watch him play, and you think, how the fuck is he still playing for Necaxa?
The thing is, I said it passed in our Discord. If you guys run in there, make sure you guys go join that. I said it in our Discord. This guy's going to be an America player one way or the other in the future. And there was already a rumor throughout the middle of the season, and I still think it's going to happen.
I think Necaxa, I don't know if Necaxa didn't want the offer or there was some shit, but somehow it broke down. The rumor kind of pretty much closed out, and it pretty much went all the way to Alexis Vega. The closest thing we've gotten so far is that there's like a potential swap deal in between him and Diego Valdez, which I would take in a fucking heartbeat. I don't think any America fan in there that unless has some type of mutual connection with Diego Valdez that would think otherwise. That would probably be a steal of the fucking century. There's no way.
Valdez already gave you guys what he could.
Yeah, no sé lo que puede.
Yeah,
And we're more than grateful. He's more than likely playing Liguilla, but he's not a starter. We don't play a system around him anymore. It just seems like his time is up, and he's just been kind of withered away.
Yeah, like, Paradela would be insane in America. See, not that they need him, but
Paradela would also be nuts.
I think Paradela needs America más que nada to win. My third player is going to be Canales. I know people don't say Canales here, there's Canales there, but I think Monterrey is in the playoffs because of Canales, like what he did throughout the whole season.
Again.
That's my guy.
Something about like the Europeans coming and topping and being like, a top dog in the Liga MX, like really like grinds my gears, It's something that I don't really take much used to, especially when these guys come and think of it as like a fucking pretty much a retirement home. Yeah. But Canales I'd probably say is a different case. It's been 2 seasons in a row already. He's been pretty consistent as a top 5 Liga MX player.
I like the players who came this season though. James has been doing his thing. Canales has been doing Ramos. Immediate impact. I mean, he scored on his debut, and then he picked up an injury, but he'll be back for the playoffs or second leg at least for the Liguilla. Rondon came from Europe as well. I believe.
Was he not at River already?
I don't know if he came strictly from River. I doubt it. I don't think so. No? Paradela came from River though, I believe.
Cream.
But yeah, those are my players, and the best teams. Obviously, Toluca. Toluca has to be up there. I like what Toluca did this season. Necaxa, León, up until they found out about the.
It seemed like that really had a toll on them.
Yeah, I think so. It did.
For the Club World Cup.
Yeah.
The form dropped massively, especially I think more so for James is sick. It like you can tell the guy. I mean, obviously coming from an outsider's perspective, but I mean, if you're watching León and you're watching James Rodriguez play compared to the ending this season, compared to the start, there's no desire anymore. Ya no le da ganas de jugar ahí, bro. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up fucking leaving.
Let's see if he turns it off for the Liguilla, though, these matches. Because they play Cruz Azul.
Yeah,
so before we get into the match, before we get into the match-to-match predictions, who do you think is the favorite to win this year's Clausura?
Define favorite.
Who's expected, or at least who, in terms of like expectations, and who, just to the books, who is the favorite to win?
I think there's really no other choice, I think regardless of our season,
bias aside,
it's
America.
Somos tricampeones, güey. Like obviously when you're a 3-time when you're a back-to-back champion, you were more than expected to go out and push for another title. Yeah. Regardless of how the end of the season, regardless if there was a team with more points than you, when you are a 3-time back-to-back champion, you are more than regarded as the favorite, or at least more regarded to win the trophy itself. Not even be the favorite.
Yeah.
But a finalist minimum.
I like how you say that, minimum. The thing is, I actually don't believe America get it done this season.
Who stops?
I backed America the past 3 tournaments, or 2 of the 3 tournaments. I backed America. See, America will win this. More than likely will win this. But this year, I'm backing Toluca.
See, I respect that because like I think from to make it to fucking sacrifice. I don't know who the fuck we sacrificed, but to win that play-in match. Go all the way, beating Toluca, Cruz Azul, and Tigres, güey, or Monterrey, and Monterrey, like our 3 biggest other rivals other than Chivas. Like, it really went to show how desperate we were for that win. Did we push our luck? Who knows? Maybe we might get fucking smacked up by Pachuca and fucking 4-0 both legs. I really I wouldn't even be surprised.
Pachuca.
But I can't just go. I can't look at what we've done and what we've accomplished playing Liguilla ball. And the switch up that my team makes every single time we play Liguilla instead of a regular league match, and not say that we can't go out and win another
one.
Yeah.
Especially the defensive record. You guys play with the 5-back. You guys are solid at the back, and goals will come if you guys start clicking. The thing is, for me, I have liked Toluca every season, even when their past manager, and then they fired him.
You said they didn't like Tuca, though.
No, not Tuca. I said Toluca.
Oh, okay.
Toluca.
Okay,
no, not Tuca.
Gotcha.
Not Tuca. I said Toluca. So with Toluca, I've seen enough and a lot of Toluca ball this season, and they just create so many chances. So many chances. The only game where I didn't see them create many chances was against, guess who? America. 3-zip.
Yeah, skunked.
3-zip, and they just got skunked. But apart from that, I think that was the only game I really recall or Toluca was struggling. They were scoring 2 to 3 games. I bet they averaged like 3 games.
Turco, wait, my bad. I meant Turco.
Oh, Turco.
I meant Turco.
Turco, yes.
At the start of the season, you
in the start of the season, in our video, in our preseason debate, I was like, Turco,
that
no.
You don't rate Turco,
I didn't rate Turco. And they had scored 42 goals with Turco.
He has a potential to win another title with another team, bro.
With a different team.
That's ridiculous.
No, yeah, Turco would be in like the top 5 greatest managers in Liga MX if he wins with another team.
I think he's already pushing that list.
Yeah, probably pushing, especially what he like did as a player in that league. For sure. Now, you have your favorites. My favorite is Toluca, Arizona America. Who's a dark horse? A team that is like, okay, maybe not in terms of like winning it all, but that could really push for it.
Honestly, Pachuca.
I agree.
What more way to start your playoff run than by knocking out the team that you can the 3-time champion that you continuously own in the regular season, in the Conca Champions, in the fucking Liguilla. These guys regularly own America. I think it's the only team in the league that has like a better record of wins than losses versus America.
Just get past America, and then you're on smoke for the rest of the time. Yeah.
The momentum will carry you through the rest of the league, bro. I can see Pachuca. I can see Pachuca going all the way. In that scenario.
And I don't back America because if America's gonna lose one game, I think it's gonna be against
Pachuca.
I actually believe that. That's why I could see America get taken out in this round. Early Liga hot takes. Well, there you go. That was mine.
Oh man, if we
Pachuca does it again.
If we get an early out because of Pachuca again, bro. Oh man, I don't think it's something I'd be disappointed in. I think at this point, as an America fan, I'm fucking suffering from success. So I'm not even like, I don't think I'd be too upset if we get knocked out. I think if we get first rounded, I'd probably be pretty pissed because it beats Pachuca.
To be in that stage though in life. To be in that stage where
ya no me importa that we lose, bro. Yeah,
getting
it's
cooked
crazy.
in Liga MX and Liguilla, it doesn't phase you anymore. To be in that stage, man.
We're the biggest team in the continent, man. It's a fracaso. Like, don't get me wrong, it'll be a fracasote just because of the stature.
I wouldn't say continent.
Who's the bigger?
Gotta win Coca. We gotta win Coca.
Oh yeah, fair enough. All right, yeah, probably.
And losing to Cruz Azul doesn't help your case.
Yeah, all right, best team in Mexico.
Shit.
Right, regardless, it's something that has lingered like since the tie was set. Losing to Pachuca again would be more upsetting to me than getting knocked out of the Liguilla.
Yep. I agree.
Especially after Rondon was talking shit about our three titles.
Yeah, he was.
And shit. So I'd love to just fucking pack him in and then we could lose to whoever. I don't even care.
Thing is, looking at these games, any team can actually win. Like, I think any team actually has enough to make it to a final. I think if León gets past Cruz Azul, again, they're going to be on smoke.
Wait, you just described the Liga MX.
It's Liga MX.
You just described the power of Liga MX.
And that's the beauty of it, lads. The Liga MX, that's what it does year in and year out. Apart from America winning 3 in a row, it's pretty hypocritical to say. But I think, real quick, before we get into this, Monterrey, Toluca, I think Monterrey can win this game. And everything I just said about Toluca is out the door. Pachuca, America. What do we say? What do we just say about Pachuca?
It could easily be a turnaround. Yeah,
it could be.
Pachuca can easily handle America.
Necaxa has the team, has the playmakers, has the manager, has a system to beat Tigres and go on a run.
I was telling head off camera that Tigres' top goal scorer is fucking Bruneta, bro. Like, that's not okay for the amount of money that you spend on your offensive line and for them to not be wrecking them goals like that. Mm-hmm. And you somehow still make top 4.
It's sad to say. I mean, Ibanez hasn't been that guy they were hoping that they were.
He's not that guy I was hoping he would be either. I really thought he was going to replace Gignac, with ease.
Mm-hmm. And Gignac is the striker that Gignac was in the Liguilla moments isn't there with Ibanez, and that's why I think they'll slack, and that's why they kind of been slacking. León, Cruz Azul again. Cruz Azul, León, James turns up, and Cádiz, scores the chances that he does. They got it shot. So let's start off with the games on Wednesday. Wednesday, we have 2 matches. Thursday, we have 2 matches. Wednesday, we have the first matchup at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Monterrey, Toluca in Monterrey. Toluca have the second leg at home.
On a Sunday? Or on a Saturday?
On a Saturday. So Monterrey's coming off that 2-win versus Pumas. Easy, expected. I mean, if you thought Pumas were going to make it out of that game, I don't know what's up with you. Pumas shag will always be tolerated here. Sorry, Pumas fans. And yeah, I think Monterrey, I don't know. This game is, I don't know.
It's all about whether or not Monterrey can stop Toluca from scoring. at the end of it.
Yeah, no Ramos though. No Ramos for this leg.
That'll make it even more difficult in their case. Because the one thing Monterrey have to do is stop Toluca from scoring, which has been a problem for almost every team in the league. 41 goals is not, something to just rub off, and just to put aside. These guys will bring the heat, and they will more than likely try to open up the score within minutes.
Yeah, I think they tied 1-1 earlier in this season. But every time Toluca and Monterrey play, there's always goals. Both teams always score. There you go, hint. I just gave you the bet of the day tomorrow.
Both teams
Wednesday.
to score?
Both teams to score. There you go. That might be a lock, lads. And, I mean, Monterrey, if they keep it a solid line, like Keek said, they have a shot, especially at home. They need to come off this back-to-back win coming off that win at Pumas at home and just do the same thing versus Toluca. I think holding them to 0 is going to be a fucking challenge.
It's not been easy, like I mentioned. I think America might have been the only team that held Toluca to no goals in the league.
Probably.
Might have to get fact checked, but I'm pretty sure. But that, without that being said, Toluca will obviously be more than eager to score, and they'll be more than eager to go to the first round, especially after the fracaso they had last season versus America. It'll also be, I think, Paulinho needs to show that he has playoff ability. Because if not, then what's the point of scoring all these league goals and getting all these top goal scorers?
If in the league, you're not there
when you're going 0 goals in 180 minutes of football. Yeah,
actually, Monterrey have the different makers though.
Like
Canales, if you can. Ocampos, I don't know.
I don't rate Ocampos. I wouldn't consider him.
But Berterame has been on smoke, and he's always scoring in the big games for them, and when it really matters.
He ended the season very well, so
he did.
Yeah, I can back that.
I think if Berterame can score his chances and Canales is moving the chains, I think it's doable. I have a feeling that one of the Monterrey teams are gonna qualify to the next round. Ya sea Tigres or Monterrey. But this will be a kind of fracaso for Toluca, though.
Again, because it'd be a back-to-back first-round exit.
After the season that you had with 17 games finishing first place by a margin. My prediction for this first leg between Monterrey and Toluca is going to be a 1-1.
Yeah, you think it stays
1-1?
I
think so. Yeah, 1-1.
I'm gonna go 2-1 Toluca. I think Alexis Vega and the Red Devils get the best out of Monterrey.
The Red Devils United.
The Red Devils in it.
One Manchester United mention art so far, boys. And then that same night, after that match, we got Pachuca versus America. Pachuca versus America. Keeks, what are you feeling?
I feel like we're going to have to record hella early for that UCL game because there's no way I'm missing this Pachuca versus America match.
Hey, Pachuca beat you guys 1-0 earlier this season.
I didn't even get to see it. I had to try to watch it on YouTube.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Of
you're right.
I don't know. They just didn't televise it.
Yeah.
Okay. America, like I mentioned, I think pretty sure Pachuca is the only team that has a positive record against America, which already fucking pisses me off. I'm so tired of this mid-table team that we cannot seem to get past. That they always seem to get the best out of us, or the best against us in every single competition way. And every time we encounter them, it's like every time these guys get in our tracks or get us stuck in our tracks, they get the best of us. We don't have anything to lose, though.
You guys don't. You guys have nothing to lose. America has nothing to lose. But Pachuca, it will always be Pachuca.
And it will be, like we mentioned, it would give them such an adrenaline rush. It would give them so much more momentum if they knocked America out in the first round.
Yeah, that's true. The first game is in Hidalgo as well.
So there'll be even more con más pinches huevos, bro. They won't let it slide. The fans will give us hell. Like I mentioned, Rondon was already talking that age. I don't think we're gonna let that slide either. Jardine more than likely has a plan, and regardless, even though I can't see Pachuca getting the best out of us, I don't think it's gonna happen. Jardine more than likely has a plan.
Almada does too, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, he kind of does.
Idrissi on smoke. Montiel's been playing really well.
Idrissi fell off.
Nah, I still rate Idrissi. He still plays just eye candy when you watch him play. Rondon puts away everything. He's clinical, man. Clinical. And on penalties, he doesn't miss. America's for sure conceding a pen. I'm going to go 2-1 Pachuca first leg. And Pachuca advance.
Yeah?
Pachuca advance. I think Pachuca gets it done against America.
I'm going to go I want to go 2-0 America.
2-0 America.
Yeah.
No way. No,
Yeah.
that's
I think
bold.
we can't.
That's bold.
This is
That's bold.
I think we make a statement with this game that we're once again the favorites to win. And we're going to show why.
If America plays and they beat them 2-0, they're playing their bench the second match.
Maybe.
Or they're rotating. We'll
probably
pretty
rotate
heavily.
the squad.
That's
yeah.
what I feel. That's what I feel. But I don't think so. I disagree with you 100%.
I think we're getting a little too written off at the moment, especially since the majority of the time I watch a Liguilla like prediction or I watch someone talking about the Liga MX. They're really not giving the 3-time champions their respect. Obviously, like Papachuca, like we mentioned, this is the team. This team is our fucking kryptonite. But Jardine this will be a statement match for America to show that we're still definitely the top dogs and we're still here to contest for a final.
Fair. Keeks, I don't know if you guys agree with the Americanistas in the comments below. Let us know if you guys agree with me. Either Keeks, either America fracaso or not even fracaso, really.
I think it'd be a fracaso if we lost to Pachuca.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think this is the only time I'd consider it a fracaso.
But like you said, you guys have nothing really to lose. So just be like, oh, whatever. Like all the good things come to an end. I think this is the year for America. No way it goes 4 in a row.
No, but I can just see it. Like, 3-time champions lose to the one team that they can't fucking beat ever. And it's just gonna look bad, Yeah. But I don't see it happening.
Next. 2-0.
Yeah.
Thursday, we got León Cruz Azul. First game in León, Guanajuato. Like I said, León has been mid ever since the Club World Cup news, and it's taking a toll on them. And they're the team that enters the worst form to this Liga competition.
No 100%. No wins in the last 5 games.
No wins in the last 5 games. This is a game where I think Cruz Azul actually gets the job done in the first leg. I mean, León hasn't beat Cruz Azul since 2021, man. And it's just James and friends. And if James isn't clicking, what does that tell you about the team? Who's pulling the strings? If he's not moving well, creating chances, they got no ball, no bag, no ball, nothing. I'm gonna go León 2-0. Sorry, Cruz Azul 2-0. But after saying all that, I'm gonna go Cruz Azul 2-0. I think Cruz Azul defensively are really good as well. The system they maintain the system that Anselmi brought.
Somehow pisses me off even more, man. Yeah. God, I hate Cruz Azul.
I mean, the manager did the right thing though.
But I don't see them losing to León either. It's kind of just seems like the tie was done the second.
This is the only tie where I feel like it's kind of more predictable.
It's very one-sided.
Yeah, one-sided compared to the others. So what is your prediction for this one?
I'm gonna go 3-1 Cruz Azul.
First leg.
Yeah, I think they get the best and take care of the tie very fast.
That and I feel like Cruz Azul doesn't really lose 2-legged ties unless it's America. To be honest,
the only case. That's the only time they're losing 2-time ties.
Because we see them in the Conca Champions final. All of those were 2-legged ties, and they got the job done. So with that being said, I'm gonna go Cruz Azul win this game, and they win the second game, and then they advance. That's like my only team that I really feel very sure about being in the next round.
Cruz Azul have solidified themselves as a top team, as a top 3 team, I'd say, in the Liga MX in recent years.
Yeah.
Really, all they're missing is that title. Obviously, fucking Papa America has something to say about that, but I don't see them losing to León. That doesn't seem like the case. I think they'll go far again, maybe reach finals, depending on who they play.
Fair. Next match, final match, Larcamón ball, Necaxa versus Tigres in Aguascalientes in Necaxa. I'm backing Necaxa for this first leg.
I'm backing Necaxa the whole
way. The second leg, depending on the first score, depending on the score for the first leg, the second leg will kind of dictate however that is. But Larcamón, man, the system that he plays with the 3-back and the wide wings and then the 3 forward straight up with Paradela and Cambindo, who's back from injury. Pavel Perez looking like Dino. That's all Larcamón.
That's the craziest
all Larcamón right there.
It is true though. He's playing like a different fucking player.
Yeah. And Tigres with Pizarro, fairy tale story. You think it could happen?
Nah, it's not yet. It's not his time. The team isn't set. Like I mentioned, this offensive unit they have just is nowhere near good enough, considering what Tigres used to be and how dominant they used to be in the Liga MX. This is a team that, like I said, the top 4 with none of your forwards having more than 5 goals. That's ridiculous to say, man. And I think that's gonna overlay into the Liguilla with Larcamón and friends with Pavel Perez, like you said, fucking moving like Dino.
Bro, no, like Necaxa team is crazy. Earlier in the season when they were finishing like in the top 3 or they were first place for a bit, And I was just watching him, man, enjoyed the footy that I saw. Like, actually. If it wasn't for Campino getting injured like 5 games ago, he would have been top goal scorer by a margin. Because he had like 10 goals in like the first, no sé how many games.
Had three top goal scorers tied for a joint of 12, and 2 of them aren't even in the Liguilla.
That's sad. That is so sad. It's the Atlas striker too, of course. Of course it is. With Tigres, the thing is that they have depth. We mentioned Lainez, Flores, Bruneta, Córdoba, Ibáñez. I'm missing a winger. Gorrearán, actually.
Otsiel.
Otsiel. The thing is that the depth is there, but the depth doesn't really make an impact.
It's not good depth.
It's more than average. I think it's better than average depth. The thing is that because of the rotation, that there's a constant rotation. The only set starter in that team is Bruneta and Gorrearán, kind of. Gorrearán plays like fucking everywhere though. Mm-hmm. I think there is not a set like lineup that is like, okay, this is my strongest lineup. This is what has showed me time and time that will be my opponents. I think that's what Pizarro's lacking to really find his front four. Or I don't know what system, 5 backs.
I think he just needs to find one specific forward that just, takes charge. I don't think there's not a lot of leadership in that side. There's not a lot of, there's no desire for goals when the front line. They don't seem very desperate to make a difference, Yeah. These guys are all just route players. I think they're all just doing their job, and that's not what's going to help Pizarro get far in the league.
It's not. The missing the focal point striker. Because all those players that I mentioned, all the rotational depth players, they all play
wide.
They all play wide. They're all in wide or like 2 camps, whatever. But if they don't have the striker to be putting these chances away that these guys create for them, there's no point. So I would say in this match, I'm gonna go. Damn, I don't know. I really like Necaxa, and I really would like for them to go far. I'm gonna go 2-1. Or 1-1 or 1-0. I don't know. I feel like this is gonna be a tight match. I'm gonna go 2-1. 2-1 Necaxa.
I'm gonna go 2-2 Necaxa.
2-2 Necaxa. Yeah. 2-2 Necaxa or 2-2 tie?
2-2 or 2-2 tie.
2-2 tie. Yeah. So 2. They draw.
Yeah, I think they draw first leg for sure.
America does not get past Pachuca and Cruz Azul in this Liguilla.
We got past Toluca and Cruz Azul in the last one.
Yeah, but that was when you guys were on smoke. I don't have faith in America.
You don't think we're on smoke no more?
I don't know. I don't like Jardín this year.
I don't like the lack of strikers.
That's why.
Yeah, that was the biggest problem lately. We haven't had a set striker. Anthony Martin keeps getting injured. Mm-hmm. Davila was cooking. I don't know.
No, but he's not a striker.
But wait,
Valdez is not a striker.
When you have 7 goals, at that point, it's obviously working. You had 7 goals in the league and counting, and you were continuously proving that you could play that position. At least under Jardine. But I mean, I don't know what the fuck happened.
I think this year I've seen America more as like a counter-attacking team than a really play in the opponent's final third for 70 minutes. So. And that's because you don't really have a striker.
Yeah, our style of play has also changed a lot.
It's changed a bit, and I've noticed it. I saw it in both the games against Cruz Azul. Really paid attention to that, and it made me. I was right about it. Ultimately. Defensively, yes, Defensively America is gonna be good, but I mean, if they concede 1-2 goals against Pachuca, if they concede 1-2 goals against Cruz Azul, we already saw how that went.
The way we use our midfield has involved Fidalgo a lot more on the ball, and. He'd honestly be one of my takes for player of the season if I'm being honest.
I was gonna say that because he's more involved going forward, but he's also more needed to be box to box, one way
he's
here.
Much more vital. He's much more vital to the style of play that Jardine is trying.
Who's been America's best player this season?
Probably Fidalgo. Yeah, in a heartbeat.
But you were saying Sendejas earlier in the season, though.
I think it was at some point it was Sendejas, but Fidalgo has been much more consistent since he's returned from the vacation after the fucking winning, and till the end of the season, this guy has proved his worth. And I think on top of that, he's also really produced in the finishing area, which is something that he lacked very, very crucially.
Yeah,
consider 7 goals from center mid is not too bad at all.
Yeah, I would always say that too about Fidalgo.
That's what we all said about Fidalgo, and that was always the problem. But this season, he really did fix his positioning and finishing, and he's been a much more vital midfielder.
Sendejas was my player for America so far up until the international break. I think that's when it went downhill for him.
Well, yeah, when you fucking play your heart off and you're fucking balling pretty much in your prime, and your fucking country still decides to pick these mediocre European players over you, then I mean, yeah, obviously, I think it'd probably get to me too a little bit.
Yeah.
and then you watch them get fucking knocked out and get third place in a fucking title, in a trophy that they've never lost, by the way.
That they've never lost.
But I mean, hey, you guys think Pochettino's a top manager, so that's what you wanted.
So with that being said, boys, I mean, we'll keep you guys in the mix with all the content. We'll be following up after every round, semifinal, the final preview, predictions, everything just like that. But this is kind of like our overall prediction, recap, preview. So with that being said, boys, Toluca will be campeón. Kicks, campeón will be
Arriba la América.
It will be America. Let us know if you guys agree. If not, let us know who you believe will be the champion of this Liguilla. Boys, it was a pleasure. Lads, we're out. Make sure you guys like, comment, and sub. Get us to 6K, lads. We'll do a 6K giveaway. Fuck it. We'll do a 6K giveaway. Let us know what you guys want in the comments below. Trip to Tijuana. Whatever it is, boys. Peace.
Peace.